if this is true, if Brian Flores told Tua, I should have picked Mac Jones. Ouch. That's an ouch. Now, they already had Tua. So I don't know if it would have made sense this past draft to then also draft another quarterback. But was Brian Flores fed up with Tua's limitations? Was he watching Mac Jones have a lot of success as a rookie quarterback? Was he seeing Mac very NFL ready, if you will, and Tua still a project and became frustrated? Maybe. And he'd be right. Now, he shouldn't vocalize that. He shouldn't tell Tua that. He can feel that. He can feel that way. But look, when your wife looks at you with those disappointing eyes, and she looks at you because you now have a pot belly, you won't get off the couch, now you've lost your hair, now you're not making her dinner, you're not taking her out to a dinner, you're not buying her flowers, you're not trying to woo her. When she looks at you with those disappointing eyes, you know why she's disappointed. But what you don't want her to say is, I should have married the guy in college. You don't want to hear that. You know why she's disappointed. You know you can be better, but you just don't want her to say, I made a mistake. I should have married the other guy. And that's what we're here. That's what we have here. If Brian Flores looked at Tua slinging those 6-yard slants every game, unable to throw a 15 to 20-yard pass, looking every bit as a guy that's a game manager, not a game breaker, and looks at Mac Jones in the division throwing for 300 yards and a pair of touchdowns as the Patriots are rattling off wins, and Tua can't get out of his own way unless you babysit him to 219 yards and a 5-yard touchdown pass to Gesicki, you might look at him and say, we drafted the wrong guy. I wish I drafted a different guy. But what you can't do is tell Tua, we should have drafted Mac Jones. You can't say that to Tua because there's nothing beneficial that comes out of that. Tua's a softie. Tua's not going to take that and have a fire lit under him. And it's not going to help his confidence. It's not going to help the team's confidence. It's not going to help your relationship with Tua. It's not going to help anything. Remember on Tuesday after Brian Flores was fired, and I said, this is the reason. It has nothing to do with wins and losses. It has to do with Brian Flores can be confrontational. By nature, he's aggressive, and he makes people uncomfortable. These are the types of things. Now, you might go, well, Bill Parcells could tell Phil Simms we should have drafted the other guy. And that's going to light a fire under Phil Simms, and he's going to yell back on the sideline, and that's going to get more out of him. That's just an old school coaching mechanism. We should have taken the other guy. Once upon a time, Bill Parcells took a plane ticket to Los Angeles and left it on Lawrence Taylor's locker chair. And LT is like, why is there a plane ticket to L.A.? He said, because you get owned by the Rams. Jackie Slater owns you. We don't need you for this game. You might as well go out there and play for them. And this absolutely infuriated LT and motivated him to one of his best games ever. Parcells knew he could get to LT. Parcells knew he could get to Phil Simms by doing stuff like this, but those guys were fire. Those guys were uber motivated. They were fiery competitors. They had a lot of pride, and those were the things that Parcells knew you could flip a switch. It's also the 80s. Brian Flores telling Tua we should have drafted Mac Jones, that's not the same. Tua ain't those guys. Tua's a softie. Tua's a nice guy. And it's also the 2020s. It ain't the 80s anymore. That's not going to work. So if this is true, Flores shouldn't have said it. Did he believe it? Wouldn't be surprising at all. Is he wrong in thinking that? Probably not. But I'll also say this about the situation. If Stephen Ross just wants somebody to say you can win with Tua, bad job by the owner. The owner needs transparency, clarity, and truth. Can you win a Super Bowl with Tua Tagovailoa? Sure. You want to know how? You better have the best defense of the NFL. You better have a superstar running back, the best offensive line of the NFL, and the smartest coach of the NFL. Sure, you can win that way. You can win a Super Bowl with Tua, but you're going to have to basically game manage your way to a Super Bowl by having everything else Super Bowl caliber. You better have the best defense in the NFL. They better create 1 million turnovers, and you better never need a 350-yard game out of your passing attack. Sure. If you think you can get all those things, sure. The odds are you can't get all those things. If Stephen Ross just wants to hear sweet nothings about Tua Tagovailoa, he's on the wrong boat. Tua is extraordinarily limited. He's limited. He's just not the guy. Whatever it is, Burrow's got it. Josh Allen's got it. Lamar Jackson's got it. Patrick Mahomes has it. Those are just the AFC. Those are just the young guys of the AFC. Tua ain't of that class. Nowhere close, never will be. So, if Stephen Ross wants to hear what he wants to hear, Brian Flores ain't giving him that. Flores can probably be more diplomatic. Should not have said that to Tua if that is true. But again, if you're a franchise owner and you're just wanting to hear a certain thing, Flores isn't your guy. He's not going to do that. And he shouldn't. I hope the next head coach has the same message for Stephen Ross. Yeah, you can't win a Super Bowl with Tua Tagovailoa unless you are willing to wait for everything else to fit. And everything else has got to fit. And even then, we'll see. But you can't lie and be like, yeah, no, Tua's got it. No, Tua's, he's really, really good. Hey, he won in college. Because that's just not the truth.